And there we go, everyone. Hi, welcome to the last episode of Vengeance in Vaulderie. I almost called it the completely wrong show. Oh my god, this is what happens when I'm too busy. I almost called it, for those of us here, The Soul of the Sabbat, which was a game I ran privately for other people. But very different in feel. So no, welcome to the series, the finale. We're going to stop being on here on this time slot for at least a little bit. So welcome to the finale of Vengeance in Vaulderie. We have our cast has returned. We're all here. Everyone is safe. No more planes getting canceled to stop people from getting here and all sorts of other things. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started here in a second. Let's just take a look. I love talking to the audience, at least referencing you guys. Who we got here? We got Rum Brave. Be back in 10 minutes. Glad to see you here. Yeah, that's one of my children. Who else we got here? Anyone? Davy Jones Show, Lord Kirdo. I've seen you here. Shadow Fuse, man. You give a lot of those cheer bits. Like he's throwing money out there. I don't even know what cheer bits are. Table Goth. Speaking of the night, people we know from the night in question. Thank you for stopping in, Table Goth.
Yeah.
Web Mage. There you are, Paula. And Witch Knight Black. I don't recognize that name, but that's pretty cool. Armor Piercing Tiger. Ooh, I like that. And Admiral 2398, cool. And then the rest, I know everyone else. There we go. You know, hey Tyler Gray, I don't know why you're here. Starweaver, the Peacock Vampire, Ember. Good. All right, let's go ahead and season 2 hype train for the Hope. So Shadowfuse, just let you know. I never promise anything until I get there, because if I promised everything that popped into my head, I would be like 12 shows behind at this point in time. I've got a neat little limited run show coming up here next month or two. Very short, just something I felt like doing while I develop my other ideas and see which one sticks. So it could be season 2, you never know. It could be a different story. We'll see. All right. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd say hi to everybody. Let's go ahead, and I'm in mod view mode. And my favorite thing is when mod view, it tells me all the last actions I did. One of the last things I did was approve the word dildo. So I don't know why Streamlabs feels the necessity to tell me that, but there you go,
You're welcome.
Yeah, or this was Twitch. I used Streamlabs here. That was Twitch. So dildo is permitted. Oh, this was actually by T-Dorf. I did dildo on its own. T-Dorf did dildo with a question mark. Very different. So don't you put an exclamation point in there. I'll have to hit a button and someone's going to do it. I know they're going to do it. So, all right.
All caps.
I probably got to do it anytime it's something different. I don't know how all that works here. So we're new to this. Okay, everyone. We're going to go ahead and we're going to skip kind of our little intros like we normally do, because we're probably going to wrap up a little early tonight. So stick around. I'll kind of go to the we'll be right back, and then I'll restart the little music while we take our 10-minute break. We're going to come back, and we'll have just meet and greet, talk to you guys. You can ask us questions. We'll ask each other questions, and just have a little bit of a good time rather than a separate show for that. So shorter show, but a great chance for you guys to interact with us. That being said, how does the volume look, guys? It looks like it's okay. I'm just gonna turn it down just a little bit, just because I feel like don't want that overpowering sound. Okay. Didn't write any notes for today, so let's hope we, I wrote one note for the very, very end. That's it. So, let's go ahead and get started. Well, we last left our group of intrepid monsters. Mother and Lydia were back at the house, either consoling themselves or whatever they're doing. We'll let them answer that question in just a short minute. But Darcy and Maya sought out the mother of the Black Angels, Darcy's sire that he has abandoned, or troubled parents. I'm not sure how we want to call it in regards to all of that. Sought her out for their control over the abyss, and leaped into it and hoping that they would find Nova. Meanwhile, Nova was trapped with a stranger in either the reincarnated illusion or something or other that appears to be the sire of Nova, where we found out that at least in the realm of the stranger is an Toreador apostate of the Bali. The stranger claims to be a Bali that there was a great deal of lore there. He even implied, if you know a great deal about the Bali lore, that he was one of the original 3, and that he knew Yul Shurgi, the Herald of Hakim, one of the most frightening figures in Vampire the Masquerade lore, that he was the one that potentially little side lore, if you believe an unpublished errata in regards to Yul Shurgi. So there was Nova with the 10,000-year-old monster being sassy. We discovered that the fragment was in fact a memory, and Nova had the option of what to do with it. She placed it inside of an object with the help of the stranger. She then destroyed it, hoping to thwart the stranger's plan, but turns out his plan was to destroy the memory all along in order to hide his true name from all creation so that no one could gain any sort of control or power over him. In exchange, he locked away this memory. You will remember it, but no one will be able to compel you to tell it or will be able to read it. And then the stranger told you he sensed someone coming. So, this void, as it were, this room itself, because it has a forge in there, it's just very nondescript for those that have... I don't think I actually described it before, but it has a little bit of a off-white floor that just seems to extend off into blackness, and things will appear as they need to. No doubt a chair, or whatever it is that was needed at the time. You have shattered the glass, the stranger has laughed, and he vanishes into the dark, leaving you alone, Nova. Is there anything you do in that moment?
I am mad.
Gotcha. You are mad. Anything else other than being mad into the void?
It's a lot of impotent anger, because what can I do?
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't know. You attack the darkness. It's about the extent that
like,
you can do.
It's Nova's pop culture reference time. It's Mrs. White in the Clue movie. Flames on the side of my face.
So yeah, all right, there you go. I have not seen Clue in forever and a day, so I barely understand that reference right now.
It's your homework.
There you go. That's my homework in between all of this. And speaking of, I'll be returning to working at the school here soon. All right. Yeah. So out of this black void, you will see, after a moment, Maya and Darcy. They seem to be walking lost and unaware of your presence. You see them. They appear definitely very much like they're that little person off in the distance. And they are calling out for you.
I feel like Nova's pretty sus. So can I...
Can you roll to disbelieve?
Can I do some, perception awareness?
You know what?
With my aspects to see, what is this really them, or is this just the stranger fucking with me?
And that's a fair question. That's a fair question. All right, here we go. I don't know why I did not have any notes nearby. It's because I said I wasn't going to take any, but... Nova, I believe you were at, Hunger 3? Weren't you pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget everybody else. Where's my other notes? That's fine, we'll do. Mine, I think you were at 2.
3. I spent a lot.
Oh, that's right. You guys had
of...
combat. Darcy, I want to say... Were you at 2 or 3?
3.
3. All right. And then we'll go...
hungry little bastards.
Yeah, everybody's hungry and in the dark. Never good. Never good. All right, so let's do Lydia and Mother here. I'll go ahead and roll for you too, because... All right. Wow. Okay, so you guys are at Hunger 1. You guys been at the house, sad that Nova's gone, just eating blood ice cream, crying or something on the couch. I don't know, something like that.
Literally eating Ben and Jerry.
Literally eating Ben and Jerry. Yes. I love that. That's perfect. I love it. Oh, as I see a little tiny little error I want to fix in my layout. Doop. Let me just fix it real fast. and nobody gives a crap but me, but I'm sitting here trying to fix it. Like, the audience is like, they don't even see it, but it's me. Dude. Oh, come on, you pain in the butt. Aha! Alright. Cool. Air in the layout fixed, and no one's even going to barely notice, but it's to make me happy. Alright, so... Yes, hot they, them stuff. Yeah, that's you know, hot they, them things. That's what they're doing at home, eating Ben and Jerry. Love it, Starweaver. Okay. Let's go ahead and have your roll with your aspects here to determine if they are, in fact, who they claim to be. I was just going to say it was them, but I do like your suspect. Like, so, we'll see. I really want to see if you just roll bad.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
Same here.
If you roll terrible, then we're gonna have some fun with it. All right, so
Welcome to chaos.
your
What's
wits.
my dice pool?
You're rolling. You're rolling 4 dice. Do you need me to roll for you, or do you got it?
I'm rolling 4 dice with my
4
aspects,
dice. Yeah.
even adding my awareness and or alertness.
So you're thinking the wrong edition.
Dang it!
Oh no!
I
Wait!
played
No!
too
No!
much
No! 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 No!
D20.
No! You're right. You're right. Discipline
I knew I'm
activate.
right.
So okay, 6 dice, 3 of which are hungry.
I was like,
So. No, so discipline rolls in V5 are an attribute plus the power. So that's to activate the power. That would be to... You actually have sense... Actually, no, wait. It is 4 dice because you don't have heightened senses. I don't believe here. Yeah, you have sense the unseen. So you're activating the power. So it is 4 dice and 3 of them are hunger.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, let's see what
Let's see
happens.
how much fuckery happens.
oh,
Oh God. Okay, that's just a straight fail. That's just a straight
Fail?
fail. 'cause
It's
I got
fail.
I
Okay.
got 1 crit and 1 skull, so that they canceled each other out. It's just a fail.
Yeah, so if you've got 110, the ones don't cancel anything out unless you have 0 successes. So if you have just 110, that's 1 success.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you have no successes in a skull, that's a botch, and that's when we get to have tons of fun. But
Yeah.
that's not what we're doing right now. All right, so you're able to sense the unseen. In a way, you learn 2 things. You do, as far as you know, that is in fact Darcy and Maya approaching you. You've also learned never again in the abyss of some unknown void that you're ever in, do you ever want to do that again? Because you are now aware of everything that is hiding in the darkness around you. And for a brief moment, we will say, unbeknownst to Darcy and Maya, to their left, as they're approaching you, there is a strange black sarcophagus, and you can hear terrible whispers coming from it.
No, I out of character know exactly what that is, and I hate it.
So you just, the little... Those will subside, and it will disappear back into the ether, but by then, Maya and Darcy will be able to see you.
I'm gonna call to them. Hi, here, help, don't like, come get.
I think,
You're alive.
and I'll probably make a beeline straight over there.
yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I have a hold of Maya because things tend to get lost in this place, and well, things that get lost here tend not to be found again. So I just look over and be like, "No offense, darling, but hold on."
Fine. Hold my hand.
And we'll head over there.
Darcy, as you approach closer to where Nova is, you will your foot will touch some sort of strange, looks like obsidian glass, and there will be carved into this glass is essentially a likeness of your face.
Firstly, what is this place? I'm assuming I walk into the forge area.
Yeah, the forge itself is slowly melting into the abyss.
All right, that makes more sense. So, Darcy's gonna run up and grab Nova around the shoulders and be like, "Child, are you all right?"
No, I don't. Hungry.
Yeah, there's a place to do that to you.
Need therapy.
Yeah, it'll do that too.
Not
Alright,
from this. Maybe from this. Not just from this.
Now, before we go anywhere, you got to listen to me real quick. Don't say anything about what happened here until we can get home. You understand?
Okay.
No matter what anyone asks you or what anyone says, you don't answer them at all.
Okay.
All right, girl.
One question though, why is your head
You want to know
blasted
what?
on the ground?
A thing. We don't need to talk about it here.
Okay.
He said don't talk about it here, so...
We may not talk about that ever, but we'll circle back to that later. Adam, I'm assuming Mama gave me some sort of sign, signal, phrase.
Yeah, there's
Or do you want me to roll on my many hunger dice to see if I can find a way out?
you know what? That I think is great. Let's go ahead and give a
Damn it.
wits plus occult check. I will let you add your oblivion to the roll. However, hold on. Do you need me to roll for you?
How many dice am I rolling?
Let me take a look here, because I'm gonna let you add the oblivion dice but there's a cost for that. Your wits is 3, your occult is 2, so put you at 5. You can add your oblivion for 2 extra dice, but they will count as hunger dice only. So they will add to your, so you will roll 7 dice, but
Then my hunger?
yeah, but 5 of it will be hunger dice. Now, you could decide to not use the oblivion to guide you and just
Wait.
roll 5 dice.
You said 5 will be hunger die?
Yes, so he has 5 dice on his own. 3 of them are hunger. I will let him add 2 additional dice for his oblivion skill, but those are hunger dice because you really don't have the power to allow you to navigate the abyss, but you are a creature of the abyss, so I'm gonna let you so that's your options. You can have more dice, but you increase the risk of
3 successes. One of them is a 10 on my hunger dice.
But no two. We don't have a pair of 10s.
No.
Pair. All right, then there you go. 3 successes, no hunger, so no bestial success, and there's also no critical. So you just got 3 successes. So you will, you feel a pull. The thing is, you have 2 options right now. There is the way out, which is much closer. However, you could try to return back towards whence you came, towards Mother, but that is further away and will require multiple rolls. So there is the way out to the physical realm now, but you don't know necessarily where that goes. And then there's where Mother is, which you know where that lets out into the physical world, but you could get lost along the way.
I'll tell you what. Can we ask the audience, see what they'd like us to do?
Oh, okay, there we go, audience. Yeah, sure. Okay, audience, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. They have 2 options. They can take the quick way out, but they don't know where it's going to lead. And trust me, it leads somewhere fun. Could do that. And then, or they could try to navigate the abyss further and try to get back to Mother. Now, unfortunately, we don't have CJ with us here tonight, and I don't think they could quickly throw on their outfit here in the next 5 minutes. So, audience, which do you want? Option A, quick way out, don't know where we're going, or longer travel but to know the exit? All right, I see one here. Quick way, do the fun. All right, we got one. It's always good.
I feel like they're all fun a little bit. I mean,
We got to
depending
go
on
back to
how you
Mother. B, I got 2 here. I got 2 for that. Go for danger, navigate the abyss. Oh man, seems like if only they knew what I was planning behind door number. I think both doors are fun.
Boy.
And it's funny, I don't have any idea what I'm planning behind B, but it seems like everybody's loving B, so now I have to make it up. I love it when I just throw things in here and have nothing planned.
And now we get to see Adam fly by the seat of his pants.
Oh, that's been like the second half of this like whole chronicle, so I'm hopefully I'm doing okay. All right.
So how would you like me to attempt to navigate back to Mother?
Make a drive roll. No.
Drive, yeah, there you go. Drive the Jesus Chrysler through the abyss. Ember, are you trying to get my attention? Or Mother?
No, just
There you go. Which way?
Navigate
Which
the
way's the
abyss.
wind? Which way's the terrible wind blowing?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Let's see what the roll is. Because if you roll terribly, I can always have fun. So to get back to Mother, I'm going to need. You're going to want to do the wits and occult check. So you're going to make another roll. But the difficulty is going to be. So you're going to need a total of 4 successes. As many rolls as it's going to take for you to get there. If you fail any of them, if you get 0 successes along the way, stuff's going to happen. Messy crit, you'll get out. But, it's going to be... I'll have to come up with some fun here.
How many dice am I throwing?
You're doing the same as before, 5. You're navigating the abyss, yeah. You're just going further with the idea of, I don't want to get dropped into the physical world somewhere I don't know.
Well, there's 1 success.
All right, we got 1 success.
Two successes.
All right. Do we cross the finish line?
3 successes.
So 3 just on that roll. So you get 1,
yeah.
2, 3. 3 altogether. Roll one more time. It'll just take you longer. Is all that's gonna,
That's 2 10s on the hunger dice and a 6.
All right, so that is 5 successes, but it's going to be a messy crit to get out. So I have to think, what does a messy crit look like escaping the abyss away from a potential 10,000-year-old Bali? What could I do?
I'm getting Sinners and Saints flashbacks.
I mean, well, yeah, you get. We could always run into. We could always run into.
Always go into a nunnery.
Go into a nunnery.
And then we eat everyone because we're so hungry.
I like that idea. I'm not ready for the nunnery. I'm trying to also think of how to throw you guys, get everybody back to. Yeah, no one's ready for murder nuns. I don't. Yeah,
I have an
right in the
idea.
middle of a bunch of murder nun hunters. There we go. Okay. As you guys navigate the abyss, as you move further and further away from the stable area that seemed to have been the home of the stranger, you find yourself more in this amorphic shadow realm. You can feel the essentially cold heart of oblivion just slowly pulling at your fingers and at your body and your soul. And
I got an idea if you let me for a little bit.
yeah, sure, go ahead. There you go. I'll let you do all the tough writing while I think of what I want to do real quick. Go ahead, Darcy.
So as we're moving along, Darcy's going to start to feel that cloying, oily blackness start to seep into his pores. And he can feel the pull stretch his molecules apart as it starts to eat away at everything that he is. And as he starts to feel that, his beast starts to rage up in his chest. It wants to survive. It wants to get out of here. It wants to get back to the real world. So it reaches up and it grabs his arm from him and it stretches it out. And with claws made out of shadow, it rips a hole between this veil and the next. But unfortunately, because it is not a controlled opening, the void spills out and starts to destroy and touch everything on the outside as we're sucked through like an opening in the side of a spaceship, except instead of going into the void, we're going back to the real.
All right. Okay. There we go.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you guys will drop out in essentially, it almost feels like a sewer. And because you guys will plop into this viscous material that, in a way, is both relieving that you know what this viscous sewage is. The stench will immediately overpower you, and about 3 or 4 individuals will back up. However, it's not done yet. I like your whole idea in ripping things, so in exchange for tossing you out, it will grab one of the creatures, the people there, and pull it back in. And the two others are like freaking out, and they go to grab him as he gets pulled in, and they will look kind of shocked. What do you do at these? What do you do now that you are all here?
You called them creatures?
Yes, I did call them creatures. They appear to be human, though.
Human-like or
Well, right now they look human.
fair? Oh, damn. Well, I
test.
had something
What'd you-
that
You want to
What'd you-
taste test them?
Taste test. As in, she's just gonna hunger, bite,
Yep.
go.
All right, I love it. I love it. Go ahead. You know what? I'm going to let you get a surprise attack. Let's go ahead and do a strength plus grapple check. And
rooting for you.
Gotta
do you need me to roll for you?
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead. All right.
Oh, God.
Yep. I'm like, oh, I think I know what these things are. Oh,
Yep.
sure.
I'm gonna find out very soon.
Oh, as long as we're not in New Orleans.
I ain't never found something living in a sewer that tasted good or wasn't probably out to get me as well. Ate a gator once.
All right. Big money, big
Gotcha.
money. So you
Thank
got
you, Starweaver.
3.
I agree.
Yeah. Yes, I thought we had a strict policy, don't put things in your mouth. It's funny you say that. So you succeed, Maya, you suddenly grab this thing and you bite into it. How much are you... Well, I will let you slake 1 hunger as suddenly you begin to feel first this strange bit of euphoria, and then it's... You ever had too much greasy food? And that
Yes.
ugh it causes? That's what you feel. And this thing laughs. And it will grab you by the hair and pull you back. And then it'll shift up into this larger wolfish form. And Darcy, you now recognize it. You saw this guy not too terribly long ago.
Is it my man?
Oh.
Whoa. Everybody calm down real quick now. Hold on. Now, Maya, you done stepped out of line a little bit right there and bit this nice gentleman without knowing who he was first. And for that,
Got it, yeah.
I do apologize to you. Now, you might remember we do have somewhat of a working relationship, and I'd really hate to think that this might sour upon that, so...
So while you,
How do you-
as you're talking, Darcy, the other one seems a little less inclined to talk, and it will shift. And the other one tries to. So Rend, the render of men in this other werewolf companion, tries to lunge at you, and he will stop him. And those two begin a quick wrestling match for dominance as you start to trail off. As you now see 2 werewolves like wrestling each other to the ground in the sewer.
Gentlemen seem to be having some sort of social...
Getting out of here. We're running away. Let's go.
Yeah, we're not leaving Maya.
She is
I would
coming
be-
with us. Like Nova's just like waving Maya over, just like come on.
I'm pretty sure they can catch us. Well, they can catch you. They won't catch me. But
Yes.
So do we? Yeah.
Does
So-
the
hand in hair.
What did you say, Darcy?
I was like, does the were creature release Maya, or he's still got a...
He pulled her off and kind of looked at her and laughed and shifted into Krynos more as an intimidation. He quickly lets her go to hold his friend down, and now those two are wrestling for dominance in the sewer.
Where is the ladder? Where's the grate? Where's the manhole?
There is none. There's just further down the sewer.
I hate this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you hate this Miss Toreador. Like
I want out of here. My shoes are ruined. My clothes are ruined.
I like Rumbrave's comment here, who knows a thing or two about fighting Black Spiral Dancer werewolves. It says, you don't have to run faster than the wolf, just faster than your companion.
Don't challenge one to monomancy.
Yeah,
So-
that too.
Darcy will start waving people away down the sewer pipe, away from here, and I'm gonna be ready. Should they start to turn their attention back to us, I'll just do a blackout.
Let me check here. I like that idea.
We're trying to move away without drawing too much attention.
So
but
you don't
this
have
up.
enough to drop the. You don't have Shroud. Shroud in this game's level 4. You have Shadow Cloak, which can hide just you.
But what if we
Now
stand
that-
behind him while he's shadow cloaked?
I mean, I would say, to an extent, if you guys move through his Shadow Cloak, I don't mind giving you guys a dice bonus. Like, he's going to get the full benefit because it's his power. But, hey, it's one extra die.
All right. Then Darcy's gonna go on a wing and a prayer, which is kind of his MO, and he's gonna pull both of them close and say, "Man, I hope this works."
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and take a quick. Let's jump over to Mother Lillian and Lydia. As you guys, or the two of you rather, are back at the you're back at the Haven. You guys have taken time to compose yourself. Whatever it is that you're doing, why don't you go ahead and take just a minute or two, tell me what you've been doing while those guys were off doing their shenanigans.
Well, I took our faces off so that we were no longer Cam. Because Cam disguise, can be nice, but yeah. Definitely took all that crap off. After, I'm probably going to sit down with Lydia and say, we need to find them. I hate to ask any other favors of you at all, but wolves have a keen sense of smell.
You're right. I haven't heard from Ren since everything, so I really don't know. But I could call him.
I think that they might be able to, considering they came out of the same sort of blackness as well.
Perhaps. I have to be honest, I really don't ask a lot of questions. But yes, I mean, it's worth a try.
We need to find her. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And whatever their price is, we'll find a way to pay it.
Got it. So I'll try my little Nokia phone.
Your brick, because it's got to be a brick to be able to reach people underground.
Right. And send a text his way.
So we'll say you send him a text to say, hey, give me a call. And then
Yeah.
we'll just role play the call. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so a few moments later. Now, this is all happening while these guys are doing their original shenanigans, which I like because then the timeline will kind of sync up. There you go. I like it. So this is before all this is happening. So you get a call back.
I
Yeah.
answer.
Did I cause enough of a distraction for you?
Oh, boy, did you.
Well, I hope so. There was a nightmarish creature. There was a nightmarish lick there. That's for sure. Leech, rather, is what he would say. Leech is the nickname for you.
Well, there's a lot going on. We lost one of ours.
Dead?
We don't. No, we don't know. She was taken.
How so?
I can't remember. Sorry. Do we know that she was like taken?
Yeah, you saw her get
Shadow.
pulled into a shadow realm. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, she was pulled into the shadows, just similar to how you and your friends appeared. Is it the same place? Is it the same realm?
That you are asking me a simple question that nothing I give you will be simple enough for you to understand. To answer you, basically yes, but no. If
Okay.
your friend was taken there, I might be able to find them. But
Okay.
I will need something of theirs. Something to get the smell. Something important to your friend.
Clothes, and then I'll immediately get up and like go to mother's
Clothes,
room.
something of sentimental value is even better. If you have...
I'm gonna grab her book.
My journal of all things not to be seen.
Your book that you've been
There you go.
keeping everything
That
in.
So Lydia nods and just yes, I have something.
Okay. He gives you a place of where to bring it to him. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
So we'll go ahead and fast forward to that. So you two go. This is deeper into the city, actually, and you will find Ren there, who I did not come dressed to portray, so no tie and all that business. But you know, that's fine. He has an additional wound on his face. He has an additional, we'll say, another scar across his eye that's still bleeding. There were two other compatriots with him as well, and they look vexed to see the two of you. And he'll kind of hold them back, like, oh, looks like Lydia's got an idea.
I don't need to. I was gonna put up awe, but I don't need to. He's there.
I will say it's not a bad idea.
Okay, I'll do it.
Like, it just in general, you're around a bunch of werewolves. Like, you know, one's probably not going to kill you. You don't know about the two of them. The other two,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
So
I'll put
awe
up.
doesn't cost anything.
Uh-huh.
You're just going to be able to add your presence to your check, which we're going to have you do a charisma plus. So my question is, when you're negotiating, not with Ren, but when you're going to talk to Ren, who's your boo, but his friends aren't, and they seem pissed that you're there. So you're talking to him, but you're trying to impress the other guys. How are you doing that? Like, how are you approaching this situation? Are you trying to be diplomatic? Are you unbuttoning one of the buttons on your shirt? Like, how are you trying to make them like you?
Oh, I mean, I feel like they probably think I'm a gross guy, so I don't know if being sexy is gonna really do much. I mean, it worked for Ren, but I don't know.
I mean, it is in character to wonder about that. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work. It could. It might not. You don't know.
I will, like flaunt the ladies a little bit, and then also just like look like I am tough shit. Like, I mean, I am. Like, I'm.
I like it.
I'm a social mediator. I know how to do shit.
I like that. Okay, all right, that's fine. So what you're gonna do then? You're gonna make a charisma plus intimidation check plus presence, which puts you at 9 dice. Your hunger's at 1. Do you need me to roll for you on the bot?
No, I got it. All right,
9
so
dice. 1 is hunger. Yeah.
Cool. So
Alright.
I have 110.
110, and anything 6 through 9 are also successes. So you want to count up all those.
1, 2, 3, 4 other successes.
Gotcha. So 4 other successes plus your 10?
Yeah.
So that puts you at 5 successes. So you're able to, so you, and I'll let you role play that here in a second. You're able to kind of own this. Like, you know, like, I like they did, like, you're like, so you're fluffing the girls a little bit, because you're like, okay, you're going to feel like, okay, I'm with him. I'm with the other scary monster. You know, that, I feel like you're playing that, but you're also, you're both playing. Go ahead.
I look at them with respect. I don't look down at them or anything. Like, this is not a species war. Like, this is just like, I am coming to you, your leader. Like, this is neutral right now, and I'm not.
Okay, I like that better. I get what you're saying now too. So you're still you're still doing the pretty thing, but this is a diplomatic kind of thing. But you're trying to hold your own. Like, don't fuck with me, because I'll rip you up myself. But hey, let's make a deal.
So I have my usual charm that I bring to SBOTs, but I'm also channeling Darcy's like politics, like.
Gotcha. Okay, I like it. Okay, cool. Mother Lillian, are you doing anything, or are you just letting Lydia do?
I'm going to be laser focused on my goal and showing absolutely no emotion and not even breathing, so they can read that however they want to.
Would you like to be next to me, or?
Huh?
Would you like to be next to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I think I'll hold your hand. Like, we come up like together.
That's fine.
Like, we're not defensive or anything. We're just,
Nope.
Mother Lillian, do you need me to roll for you? I was gonna do a charisma and etiquette check. I feel like.
I got dice.
All right, cool. So you're rolling 5 dice. 1 is hunger.
Alrighty.
I feel like the way this is, like, you're letting Lydia do the talking, but you're there kind of playing off of their, this is a respect kind of thing. Like, we're here to make a deal.
Sounds good. I have 3 successes and 1 10.
All right, cool. That's, yeah. So you guys come into the situation exactly as you plan to. So before you guys really get into the discussion, the other two are kind of mad, and Ren's holding them back. And they kind of make mention that one of their pack mates was killed in the previous fight. And they're kind of like, we did this for them and our boy is dead. Ren is kind of like, I got this. It'll work out. So he kind of comes up to you. Did you bring the thing? The item?
And then I gestured to Mother.
Let's see here. He'll turn over to one. Nox. He hands it to Nox. Prepare the rite. And he kind of snarls a bit. We're helping them still? The more we help them, the more they'll help us. Am I right?
Absolutely. This is something of great importance, and we will pay what we need to.
I'm going to have to ask something from you. It will seal the bond here. This agreement. The Banes watch over us here tonight. While you are a leech... Sorry. While you are a vampire, and we are the chosen of the Devourer, we still have to come to an agreement.
Of course.
So he he essentially kind of pulls out this like gross wax, and then it'll light into a green fire. I will need one of your fangs, he says, looking to either of you two.
I said I will pay the cost.
Mother, are you sure?
Sweetheart, one of us has to be pretty.
So he will, he holds your cheeks, Mother, and he just grabs with a finger and yanks out one of your canines.
All right.
And then he will drop it into the green flame. And then he will howl, and the flame just coalesces into the fang. When we need you, we will break this bone, this fang, and you will know that the debt will be called.
I understand.
Wait here. And so, yes, go ahead.
Is he gonna turn away?
Yes.
Right before he turns away, I'm gonna grab his arm and just like give him a very earnest look. Thank you.
You're welcome. Although I will have to... will be a price to pay for this.
Oh, we know.
So they will walk into the sewer where they will begin a rite. A rite that weakens the bond between the worlds and calls out to Nova, which Darcy unknowingly leaps forward. But in its beast's anger, will pull through and claims another one of the werewolves. You guys will then begin we will pick up that scene, and I think what would be perfect is you guys escape enough from the werewolves to come across Mother Lillian and Lydia. And I say, let's go ahead and pick it up there.
I love how there's just like a tentacle of the abyss around
Yeah,
you,
the cat,
Jamie.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, around whom?
His cat tail. So there's a tentacle of the abyss just in front of the face. Oh, you're
Darcy.
muted.
Yeah, a little bit of the void right there.
On you?
Where do you think we just came from? By the way, what are you doing to do us?
I didn't catch that before. I'm sorry. Anyway, and and like, oh, thank God, and then like running towards each other. Well, not thank God.
It's God that brought us through here, but
Oh,
it might be
okay,
the devil
sorry.
after. We should go.
Hi. Hello. Am back. Would not like to be in sewer.
Oh, Nova.
Let's get you home.
I need about 5,000 showers.
Maya, are you okay?
No, yes.
She
No.
put something in her mouth.
Oh,
I'm gonna have
Oh.
to bitch your boyfriend.
Okay.
He
All
always
right.
tastes like that.
You're just gonna feel a little. It's fine. Let's
it
get
fine?
you home.
And you guys return home that evening. The sun will rise, and then it will set. And you will begin on another day. Yes, Nova, you have a question.
Since a lot of us are at real high hunger and close to frenzy, can we like downtime feed?
So what I'm thinking, if I may offer to us all here, is everyone's hungry. Nova has, I would say, just and also too, it's the last episode of the season, I think Nova has done more than earned their keep. So
We
It
can
might
order
be
takeout, but it's totally fine.
it might be time for the rites, which can include feeding. Looking at the time, just because it's a streaming show here, looking at that, we're going to go ahead and breeze through some of this. So rather than worried about rules, let's worry about what's fun and good for this story. So, that being said, Nova has not told you what has happened. No one has asked. We can roleplay that as we go through the creation rites, or it can be we just ain't asking, you're here. That being said, the last thing you heard this creature say was that Nova was the fragment. You've been asked by the Inquisition to do that, so probably we should talk about it. And we'll see what happens. So, what does your feeding/creation rites look like? I'll let you guys kind of talk about that and try to make a decision here.
So, with Nova being distracted somewhere, probably with Mother, I'd like to speak to Maya and Lydia. Pull you both close to me, and you'll notice I have a large shovel in one hand. Now, you both know I'm a big fan of old school traditions, but I think it's about time we made this proper pack. You agree?
You're right.
Absolutely. She's more
I
than
wasn't gonna ask Mother because she's enamored with her new baby boy or baby girl. Regardless, if you two wouldn't mind doing some grocery shopping, pick up some to go perhaps. Figure we'll do this the old way, and we're gonna need a snack when we're done.
Of course.
Just one snack or something for everyone?
Oh, something for everybody. I mean, it's a celebration. It's a party. Go crazy.
Whoa.
Not too crazy. But you know.
I think there's a local frat house not too far.
I love the way you, darling.
Seems a little up Nova's alley, right? The young one.
Yeah,
Yes.
she like dude bros, I think they call them. Hey, bro,
Find one named Chad.
you're a sight.
Of course.
Make sure they're pretty.
Of course.
She likes
So-
the pretty ones.
Yes, she does. I think she's got that thing for blondes. I don't understand. But if you ladies would like to go shopping, I'll get the party started, and hopefully by the time you get back, she'll be out the dirt, and we'll be a pack proper again.
If we can.
Wonderful. So with that, Doc, you'll take the shovel over his shoulder, come up behind Nova, and I'm sure Mother Lydia will look up, and I'll just point to the shovel.
She's just like, oh yeah.
All right. Not sweetheart. Clunk.
Yeah, and I think for narrative purposes, we'll go ahead and say, Nova, you're out. Just, let's just...
Yep.
Well, you
I'm
know
out.
what? I think what would be even better is it actually takes two thwacks that goes in and you go, what the...
It's like-
and then, yeah, ow! And then the second one...
I was just saying,
I'm
Mother's like,
glad I
don't resist,
broke
don't
you."
resist. It's okay.
Uh-oh. Whack.
I do. Yeah, I like. I think that the what the fuck look from Nova would be hilarious. Like, oops, punk.
Hello?
Because you're like, what are you doing? Dunk, dunk, dunk. Okay, she stopped moving. Let's go.
It's getting soft.
Rude.
And then, of course, we'll take her down to the dirt basement and bury her nice and deep.
How deep?
Well, standard grave is 6 feet, ain't it?
Yep.
He's got potence. He can get it there. No time at all.
Oh,
And if you start squirming again, he'll just hit you again.
and right
Okay.
as before I start putting the dirt back into the hole, I'm going to whisper in her ear, I was like, fight, little one. Fight hard till you get back to us. We'll be waiting for you. And then the dirt goes in the hole.
So, I'm going to switch things up here. I kind of gave you guys an outline of how I thought things would go tonight. I'm just throwing that all out the door with the showing up with the werewolves and all that other business. Kind of like how I'm doing every plan here, but that's okay. I like this. So, just go with me here. You guys are able to quickly, Lydia, probably it doesn't matter. Lydia can lead a bunch of dude bro frat boys anywhere Lydia wants them to go. Between Presence and Eyes of the Serpent, you guys have yourself a little frat party in your Victorian home that, in its defense, if it didn't look if it did, it's almost a little too decrepit for even like a frat house. But that being said, the frat boys are totally at home. You guys, they're in the basement there too. Like, oh, this is a great time, you know.
Can they be trying to teach Maya and Lydia like beer pong or something?
I like the idea. Yeah,
Quarters is better. Quarters is better.
Yeah.
Less setup.
Ring of Fire.
Yeah, Maya, I'm sure, is winning every game of any sort of whatever.
Everything.
Just, all right, what's next? You know, just.
Flip, bang.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
lean into
Flip cup, there you go.
So, I'm gonna lean into Lydia real quick and be like, if she doesn't get out of that hole soon, we're gonna run out of my stash of bad whiskey for these.
I feel like
Others
at that
going to go
time,
around lighting candles.
like
Aw.
cinematic, like perfect timing. Like the ground starts to break and like come up, and like you just see like hands clawing out.
I love.
And
Yeah,
she's gonna immediately lock eyes with Darcy and be like, "You are so damn lucky I didn't take a shower before this."
Don't
So one of the dude bros, of course, will be, you know, he's playing beer pong with Maya, getting his ass handed to him. Probably had a little too much to drink at this point in time. If you guys were the Camarilla, Lydia probably would keep him busy away from the blatant breach of the Masquerade, which he will not live long enough to survive out of. Nova, you will lunge out because you were probably barely coherent enough to say that thing you wanted to do about the shower. So you just look at Darcy like, why, the way I say it, you're like in frenzy. You just go like, shower, and then lunge on Chad, and he's like, okay. And you're going to dig into them. What ensues is a very brief but violent moment and end to these individuals' lives. Covered in blood, definitely lost another point of humanity. In addition to the Diablerie you consumed only 2 nights ago.
And also the alley murder.
There's that too, and you will then come to, covered in blood, surrounded by your family. And I will let you guys tidy up these rights here, and then we'll have one more thing.
How do you feel, darling? Reborn?
Why does their blood taste like cheap whiskey?
Because Kentucky Gentleman was on sale and I didn't have a lot of money. It comes in giant handles.
Well, we you know, bad whiskey is a little bit better than bad beer.
Yeah. But we got just the thing to wash your mouth out there. Mother, would you bring us the Vaulderie cup?
Indeed.
And as the last Vaulderie you took part in, you'll watch us all cut our wrists, pass the cup around, but I'm not going to miss the sermon here. Brothers and sisters of the sword, we have welcomed into our family a new sister in the blood of Cain. She has earned her place many times over, and here and now she shall shed her blood with us into the cup to become one of us and to break the bonds, restrictions, so that we may be free and true Cainites in the sword. And we do this in the name of Cain, the Regent and the Rate. Praise Cain.
Praise Kay.
Praise
Praise-
Kay.
Praise Kane.
And for the first time, you will be sharing and filling your blood in the cup as well.
Yeah.
And then we pass the cup around, have a delightful Vaulderie, and we all come up and hug and kiss or whatever human sentiment we have.
I wipe your face a little bit with a towel.
It's like a little wet wipe.
I was
Dog-
actually going
A
to
little
offer,
wet wipe, that's great.
Yeah, I was going to offer a clean robe for you.
You just
And now, little Nova, your true Sabbat. You're one of us. You're a fair and true Shadow King. And you should probably take a shower. You're filthy, girl. Come
Yes, I feel so gross. I have been in the abyss. I have been around the.
on. And the abyss ain't so.
No, the stranger. And
Well, hold on now.
others.
I want to make one thing perfectly clear. You're one of us now, and you're one of the true Sabbat, and no one can take that away from you. But what happened there in that place? Let me just say this about that. There's some things that we don't need to have the responsibility of knowing. And as long as you never did anything willingly with anybody in there, as long as you didn't agree to anything without coercion, that's good enough for me.
There was a lot of coercion, and I might have told him to go fuck himself on a glass dildo.
Wonderful.
As you should.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, we got Nesbot to get to, so we can show you off, darling. Get cleaned up, and we'll get rid of these chads. Is that the term? Is that what they're calling them nowadays, chads?
I think that's what they call them. I just call them and
Just toss
Yeah.
them in the hole. We don't have to worry about that. We
you
have
can make a new
other-
dog.
I might.
Actually, I believe they have to be living, don't they, Mama? I don't know.
Well, they can be used for some parts, I'm sure.
So with
Start
that,
moving them.
This one's still alive.
as we prepare for the
He's just
S-
paralyzed.
as we prepare for the S-Bot, which, looking at the time, we may not have the time to roleplay that, but that is fine. We will, if this were a movie, as I often like to say, we will follow Nova upstairs, and as Nova is covered in dirt and blood, walking into this probably one of the few nice places outside of Mother's room to the shower. This is, as you know, slight yellow topic. I will imply that Nova's going to take off their clothes to get in a shower. Duh.
Yes.
But this is a tasteful moment here. So all we get is the nice shot of the backside. The shower passes without incident, thank God. That's all we need is more stuff to happen.
This is not Psycho.
Yeah, you step out of the shower, and you will wipe off the mirror. The condensation pulls back, and you see your face, Nova. You're no longer the innocent young fledgling that you once were. Your skin has become paler, your eyes more predatory. Your creation rites are over, and here you are, looking into that mirror. As I said when I started this out, there was one thing I wanted to end on. When you look into that mirror, who do we see, Nova?
You see Nova, the Toreador, and the true Sabbat.
Sorry, everyone, as I cue everything up. I was trying to be fancy, but there it is. And we will cut to where we always do. Back, well, I shouldn't say always, but we will be back to where this all began. In a room where the stranger sits with the Archon.
So that's it.
I'm afraid so. A story of a betrayed toreador at the hands of the Camarilla, driven into the arms of the Sword of Cain out of desperation, and there she found her home amongst the monsters.
That's not the only story you told, Solomon. The Reckoner and his vendetta against you and the Tremere. If you are indeed telling the truth, it was you who set most of this into motion.
Indeed, a tale of vengeance and Vaulderie.
I don't believe most of it, Solomon. After all, I have you here. And if you were actually as powerful as the tale would lead me to believe, that could never have happened.
Well, unless
this was part of the plan too.
Indeed. Oh, you look worried, Archon. Don't bother calling for help. Your friends met final death just a few moments ago. Don't you remember? They rudely interrupted, and I just can't stand that.
What? Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Archon, God had nothing to do with this. I believe you now, Archon. Don't worry. This memory, it's safe. Just like Nova. No one will know the truth unless you tell them.
So, you were telling the truth the whole time?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? What caused all of this?
The death of a child, Archon. I told you.
No, I mean, why? Why tell me all of this?
You know what, Archon? If you want that answer, find me again. Search the four corners of the earth, and if you do find me again, well, maybe, just maybe, Archon, I'll tell you another tale. But until then, you take care now. Okay, and we're back, kind of just with our post-mortem. Welcome, sorry everyone for the delay. Streamlabs decided to stop working, and then I couldn't move everyone because we did that last little bit live instead of a video like I did in the first episode. So when I saw my fangs in, so here we are. So, hi everyone. If you've watched some of my other shows, we kind of just have a quick chat. You opportunity to ask us questions, things like that. So if you want to ask a question and you're afraid I'm not going to see it, if you're watching us live on Twitch, what you can do is you can use your little tickets to highlight your question. That's a good way for us to see it and all that other business. So we're going to take just maybe 30, 45 minutes and just talk about the show and just different stuff. So if you got questions for us, Apache's first question, when will there be a season 2? As always, I never like to answer whether or not I'm doing a season 2 until I have an idea that inspires me, because I'd rather, yes, like that, Rumberry, that's how you highlight. I'd rather have a good idea, and that's how and I'd rather tell that story. So this main story, outside of all the other little stuff, was the transition of Nova from a Camarilla to the Sabbat. Little subtle changes. I'm not sure if you've noticed Nova's window. It now has the barbed wire that all the other Sabbat characters had. And there was one episode it got messed up a little bit, but there was a little bit of flowers and one barbed wire. So, but then I had to remove something and then it wasn't. So anyway, my little slow transition there. And I thought that was kind of cool. So that was my idea that got me started on this. So will there be a season 2? I don't know. We'll see.
Correct answer eventually, because I'm pretty sure none of us here are going to let you not do a season 2.
Yeah.
Too many questions. Too many questions.
We realize that, yeah, it'll eventually.
You've set too much up. Like, for us to just like, all right, sorry, you're never gonna see us again.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I may
I'll
run
put idea prompts.
additional World of Darkness stories in which your characters may show up. I may do something different, and you may be different people, as I've referenced our Knight in Question characters, Lily and all them. Like, will you play Lily? I maybe, probably, I don't know. That being said, at the same time, I think it might be kind of fun to watch somebody else play you. Sometimes that can be fun. You never know. So I am seeing that my CPU is just getting really mad, so I'm going to make sure everything is turned off that it needs to be. So if you guys got any questions, go ahead and do it. I think what we're going to do, though, since we got a quick second, why don't we we'll start with you, Darcy. Darcy, why don't you tell me your favorite part out of the entire show, and we'll go around, and then we'll let, if there are any questions from the audience, that'll give an opportunity to fill it up. So Darcy, favorite part of the whole show.
Favorite part of the whole show, it's at the very least it's one of my favorites that is the most fresh in my mind, and it was last game with just the defiance and rebellion and these people care, and the really the change in Nova's character when she was in the abyss with the stranger. There were so many things about this campaign that I just loved. But that's the most recent and fresh in my mind. If I dig back further, I could find something else. But that one was just, obviously Darcy wasn't there, but like my inner Darcy as I'm watching this on screen was just like, I'm so goddamn proud of her.
My baby.
I was like, proud. And just watching her character over the course of the season, eventually get there. And her story was a lot of fun and probably easily my favorite part. One of them.
All right, let's jump down to you, Lillian. Favorite part of the whole show. Shadow Fuse, I see your question. We'll get to it here soon.
I was going to say probably how sassy Nova was last game too, but since that's already been said, I'm going to go with when Maya took Nova to feed, and she was like, but she spit in my food, and just it broke the game for a second. Everyone was like, just couldn't help but laugh because it was a very funny moment in a very serious part that was happening. So I very much enjoyed that.
I'm a goddamn delight.
You are a delight.
Really are.
You are. Show's all about you, sweetheart.
Speaking of Nova, favorite part other than you?
Ouch! I already said it. No, I mean, I have a number of favorite parts, but I think my favorite part was actually just being an out of character experience. Because I have loved doing this show and working with all these people, but also having the knowledge about what was going on behind the scenes from a different game. Like, I actually know who the stranger is. I know what that sarcophagus is. And so seeing that and being like, I have to pretend I don't know what this is, but it's really hard not to say it because I like knowing everything and showing that I know everything. I am the IRL pedagogue nature.
All right, Lydia, favorite part.
Oh man. There's just so many good good moments. I think I guess kind of in the same realm. It's just, this is like to be different because I really, really love all of Nova's parts. And Nova's like bringing like a newer like just bringing youth to the group, because I assume we're all much older, and so like every time she mentions like things from the last decade, so we're just like, okay.
Sailor Moon in a Sabat game. Who would have thought?
Right.
That was special too.
But so aside from just you being amazing, that we're all gonna say, is in that same realm of like kind of knowing things outside of game. I loved when the Black Angels were brought up because, you know, that's something that I experienced from another game and that I know all about and that I want to be like, it was so hard to be like, can Lily show up? Like, can I just like wig switch? But that was really cool. And if we do get a season 2, I'm really excited to see what Mother asks of us.
That is true. There's a lot of debts to be paid in season 2.
Lots of prices we're gonna have to fulfill.
The two mothers might meet.
And yeah, indeed. And last but not least, Maya, why don't you go ahead and tell us your favorite part?
So obviously the extreme sass from Nova. Like, I was off screen and no one could see me as I was laughing just so hard with Nova just trying to get herself killed by talking to him that way. And I loved that. But also I liked all the guests that showed up. The Inquisitor, because still click. Cassandra, all the Camarilla, the Justicar, which I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
The Winters, just all of them. I loved all the guests that we had.
Well, awesome. I'm glad that you guys liked it. It's hard for me to pick my favorite part because I would say I really enjoy the NPCs because I think that's the thing about doing this as a show rather than my own personal chronicle. It's, you know, I think I ran a Star Wars campaign for you, Rachel, and I was able to type things out. We did a lot on Discord, so then I could have the characters talking to each other, and it wasn't just me going, "Oh yes, but Master whatever." Well, Master whatever, you know, me doing this.
Space and Momoa.
Yeah, Space and Momoa. You know, I can't. Yeah, I can't literally be Space and Momoa, the love of your life, Rachel, and then the guy giving him shit for being flirty or whatever. Like that, just it undercuts it. So it's a lot of fun to bring in other people, and the exciting thing is to kind of see what people do with my ideas. And then sometimes they go a million times better than what I want. Sometimes it's like, oh, I wish they did this. But every time I wish they did something, they always do 10 things that I like. And then there's like one thing I'm like, oh, I wish they would have hit this more. But, you know, hey, that's the trade-off you get. But I think it ends up being worth it. So we've got a question for everyone. We got 2. One is, what was the biggest plot surprise for you this season? So what was the one part that you were like, oh... a sudden twist, or I think might be example for you, Rachel, like I know what that thing is and I have to behave now. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and start backwards. We'll go start with you, Maya. If you have one, if they're just like, oh, I'm not sure, don't feel compelled to answer. So you're muted though, so.
I was muted. I need a moment to think about it.
We'll jump down to you, Lydia.
Oh goodness. Okay. So something that surprised me, or something that like about my character.
Either or. I would say it's either or. It's either your character or you were like, oh, I'll let you pick.
I mean, I kind of read it as like what was like my character's secret, I guess, and that was the whole thing with Ren, and like I really enjoyed like trying to play that off and like not really be found out, just be really like kind of vague about it, even though you know, people picked up pretty quickly.
Claws leave marks, darling. Claws leave marks.
You know, you don't really notice those things in the moment.
It's hard to notice the aggravated damage all down my back.
Exactly.
With the smell of sex and greasy fur.
Nova, biggest plot surprise for you?
I think for me, it doesn't involve me. It was the Malkavian actually being a member of the Black Hand. That was fun. And also watching Caroline's face. The audience didn't see it. I did the audience see that?
No, the
Was-
audience couldn't see. Are you talking about the
Yeah.
Diablerie? Yeah, they couldn't see it. We could see Caroline on the stream call as you're like, and then I'm gonna kill that bitch. And
No. It's when Catherine, as the Black Hand, was like, "Go down this. Stop."
oh
Go in the hall."
yeah, that's
And like
right.
just watching
Yep.
Caroline's face, being like, "Oops."
Yeah, they missed that episode where they found out, where the audience found out secretly Black Hand agent. Nice. Lillian, biggest plot surprise for you?
I think the biggest, most interesting thing, since people have already mentioned other things that I really liked and enjoyed, would have to be what you did with Simone. Totally an NPC, but what you had happen to them that we don't really even have an answer for, and how that's been completely still unresolved.
Indeed, I had a whole scene
Yeah.
meant to reveal that this episode, but you all didn't go out the easy door. So it's one of those things too where I just put out ideas, but yeah, that, and speaking of Simone ripping off her back, something I totally made up on the spot. Darcy, favorite plot surprise.
I think I got two. One that happened with my character personally, and one just like watching the game go by, finding out stuff. One was for my character, at least, you know, when we were making characters, and you know this, but the audience doesn't, you know, you gave us, you know, you kind of coaxed us through when we had a concept. You know, I was like, well, this is kind of my general concept, and you helped us build the characters. And then you said, hey, well, what kind of flaws do you want to take? And I was like, well, dark secret's always fun. And you were like, how many points? And I was like, let's go all the way, baby. And having this dark secret, and when you kind of hinted at it and then eventually revealed it, that, you know, it was my sire was, you know, an Angelus Alter. I knew you were going to make it something like heavy, but that one just caught me out of left field. I was like, the hell you say? And that was a lot of fun for me because, you know, I knew right away out of character, but it was very unexpected, and that was a lot of fun. And then kind of like Darcy or / Jamie just going through the game, one of my favorite plot moments was actually when I was watching the exchange between all of our characters who were trying to infiltrate the Camarilla. And then right up there, all of a sudden, the Reckoner's here for no particular reason, but he's there and he's probably going to wreck some shit. And that kind of like, oh, Maya, get the hell out of there. It's like, I wanted to scream like, Maya, no!
And Maya, did you have an opportunity to come up with one?
Be a good lad.
Oh, there you
Anything
go.
I can reference directly back to lore is typically a surprise. I did not expect that to just slip out. Like, oh, okay, this is what we're dealing with now. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna establish more of that, like I said, this episode, because one of the things about streaming is, you know, I like doing seasons and stuff like that, and because it requires people to show up. Work starting up again, I'm like, we have this many episodes, so I would love to add more, but it's like sometimes you just gotta wait and see if we have a better opportunity to kind of expand upon it later rather than get a little further. There are two questions. One's very quick, and the other one's gonna Darcy kind of started on. Let's do it's everyone. What's your favorite clan and why? I like many of the clans except the Tremere. I say that as someone who played a Tremere in a LARP for like 3 years, but they're the ones I like the least. I would say I really enjoy as things go on. I kind of like the Bali, especially as they've changed over the years, and I'm a big fan of the Tzimisce. So why? I like the Bali's deep lore and the Tzimisce. I love in the Dark Ages, but they just get they just get meh. But so Dark Ages Tzimisce, I would say, would be my favorite because they're just creepy and cool. Let's jump over to you, Darcy. Favorite clan and why?
I agree with your sentiment about the Tremere. I'm not a fan of them because their lore is kind of shallow. And I don't know, I just never really got into them as a clan. But my favorite clan, I have a tendency to default to one of the two. at least in my thinking when I'm thinking about making a character, and that's Lasombra and Malkavian. Lasombra, I just love I used the phrase ruthless efficiency one time, and that's kind of what I love about the Lasombra is that they're not aping anything. They're not trying to be I'm very prim and proper. It's like, no, we're monsters, and I'm just going to be the best monster out there. And the Malkavians, I mean, there's so many reasons to like the Malkavians, the diversity of character concepts, what you can play, what kind of niche you can fill. And, it's someone who has a mental illness, it's a little cathartic to play that correctly without being a caricature of it, without being a fish mouth, so it's, yeah, those would be my two. If I was supposed to pick one, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Lillian, favorite clan and why?
I'm going to go with a very probably unpopular choice. I'm going to go with Ravnos. I loved Ravnos because I played a couple, actually. And just the different things that they could actually get away with and the things that I would put storytellers through. I have such a horribly amazing creative mind, and everyone hated me for it, but loved me at the same time. So yeah, Ravnos for me. Nova you.
Welcome, Nerds with Dice. We just finished the finale of Vengeance in Vaulderie. We're just having our kind of our casting interviews and all that business. So stick around. We'd love to keep asking questions. So Ravenous, let's jump over to you, Nova. Favorite clan? I think we know, or at least I know, but go ahead.
Do you know?
I don't know. I know what you would be, so I assume, but we'll see.
Well, talking about V5 lore specific, I really like the Hekata. I like the versatility of it with all of the bloodlines becoming an amalgam and then having the lore sheets for each specific clan or bloodline. I think it's really fun. Also, La Sombra, of course.
Yeah.
But if we're talking V20, Tremere, because yes, their lore is kind of wonky, but thaumaturgy is a lot more versatile and expansive than blood sorcery, and I just like doing all of that. Or Daughters of Cacophony.
There's a reason there's 5 Thom
Daughters
books.
is awesome.
I love the Daughters, like, and that's me. Also, for Ember, we had a question about your Ravnos thing. The old Ravnos or the new lore?
See, I've done both. So as far as the lore goes, I liked the older better than the new. But as far as mechanics go, I like the new better than the old. So I like both. Both is good.
Jumping over to you, Lydia, favorite clan and why?
Well, it definitely is a tie between La Sombra and Ministry, which are the two that I've played. I've also played a Malkavian, and I love Lily so much. But I don't know. I just I guess she's like also I don't know. I don't really. I'm new as someone new to the game, and still learning and everything. I think that I would have to probably go with Ministry now. I feel like it's a little shallow. I have ever since I was a child, I've been really, really into ancient history, and Egypt was always a fascination of mine. And learning more about Ministry and like the followers of Set and everything, it was just like so cool to see like this world of vampires tied into that, and it kind of also reminded me a little bit of Queen of the Damned.
I mean, hey, whatever works.
But I don't know. I really love Ministry and the whole serpent presence.
And last but not least, Maya, favorite clan and why?
Also the serpents or the Ministry, because depending on the version, they're absolutely terrifying to fight.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of role play, I like playing that drawing people off to what seems like a good idea and totally fun. And also, I'm an occult nerd, so I could jam all that into it as well.
I do enjoy playing. I enjoy LARPing ministry characters because I love their subversion of religion and things like that, and in the whole spiritualism. If you ever LARP with me, especially if there's a great deal of spiritual characters, I love fake religions because they don't start real wars. So I will play all that up. Fun question from Apacho for each of us, or I guess for you guys. What was the inspiration to create and play your character? So this may take a hot second, which is fine. So I'm going to kind of just briefly explain kind of what I kind of came to everybody. There's two different ways. So there's Nova, which was you were the fledgling. Like everyone had a type. Like that's what you were. The story's about you converting to the Sabbat. So outside of that, you had to be a stereotypical Camarilla kind of thing in order to play through this conversion. Everybody else was the established Sabbat. And I think I gave you guys, there had to be something monstrous about you, but also a dark nobility. Like I wanted you to be a monster, but I didn't want you to be so much of a monster that the audience hates you, or that there's no redeeming quality about you. So I think like an example we use with Maya is, the assassin. Like, okay, you could just be the murder hobo who just stabs everybody, but what else is there? And I think Maya has has the honor in it and things like that. So we'll go through and we'll start with you, Maya. What was the inspiration? How'd you come up with the character? We did all have a web call where we just all talked to each other, and I think a lot developed there. I think you weren't on that call, and I think you were like, what's left? But still.
Yeah. So it was pretty much as you said. Yes, I could play the Stone Cold Assassin, but a thing about Maya is she doesn't actually lie, ever. So any mention of like, when she had the conversation with Cassandra, she was like, oh, everyone lies. When you're a vampire, you naturally lie. And she just like looked at her like, no, because Maya has pretty much is following a very specific code of loyalty, honesty, and dedication to the mission that she had. So I wanted to play someone who is definitely will kill you in a second with no hesitation, but there's rules that you're just probably not aware of.
Awesome. Let's jump down to you, Lydia. Lydia, where'd you get the idea? What's your inspiration?
Well, actually, when we had that group call, I had something totally different that I wanted to do. I wanted to do Hakata, and I wanted to be that kind of like creepy like goth girl in the corner of, like the rave clubs that you kind of, if you were new, you kind of avoided, but like if you were, like goers, like frequent goers, you knew that like they knew stuff, like they knew how to get things, and they knew how to, like they just had information. And I really wanted to utilize that in the story with I can't remember the exact term, but opening the like doorway to I can't remember the term, but they could like
the abyss.
Maybe it was something. It was I don't remember, but that was kind of not really turned down per se, but you were like, I have this idea, and I was like, yeah, sure. I do love what I did with this. You just sort of like said, well, what about ministry? And I looked it up, and then I sort of was like, okay, I want to play somebody who has that very like scary regal sort of like appearance, or not scary regal, sorry, has that like sort of regal like socialite appearance at like spots and everything. But I wanted to be like I wanted to show that like sneaky snake side, you know, and I don't think I actually got to do that a lot in this game. I wanted to show like there's a fierceness about her physically and not just you know, like on the surface. Like I kind of wanted to sink my things, you know. I didn't get to use my claws. I have really cool claws and I never got to use them. I have like foot long.
There's always next season.
Well, I don't know. You said you're not promised anything.
Yeah, exactly. You know me. Like, and it's funny. I literally just made a project in which Ty is not involved. But short of that one, you know, you'll probably be there in some way. Nova, what was your character inspiration?
Yeah, so on that video chat, pretty much Ty and Adam were the only ones who knew going in, but I don't like Toreadors. Oops. But I'm like, okay, what's the most Cammy clan? Well, a Ventru would not really jive well with a Lasombra. There's too much ego in there. There's too much, you know, fights for dominance. So what else? Okay, Bruja, not really. Toreador. Damn it. I gotta go with Toreador. So from there, it kind of went into, okay, what kind of artsy-fartsy thing would my character be into? And for those of you who know me, I like generally going against type. I like doing weird mishmash shit. So my Daughter of Cacophony was afraid to sing. My Toreador deals with fire. Cool. So that's how glass blowing came into it. And yeah. So I picked a clan I didn't like, and then I made it real difficult for her to do what she had to do.
Sometimes that's fun, though. Sometimes it's always, you know, pick what you don't like. That's what I played a Tremere. I was like, I don't like the Tremere. And somebody was like, well, you don't know what it's like to play a Tremere. I'm like, fair. So I did. I had a great time, though, in defense. So I hope you had a good time playing a Toreador.
Yes, I did.
Jumping over to you, Lillian. Lillian, I think yours is, because you were a last-minute ad. You were like, hey.
You literally gave me less than 24 hours to try and bring this into me. And I tried to figure out exactly how I was going to own a concept that somebody else created. But I'm one of those people that you can hand me a sheet and be like, breathe life into this. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my own thing with this. And I think that I did a pretty good job. I made sure that specifically, as you would say, that I always made Mother change. Every single game, I changed their voice. I changed makeup, hair, and just little bits and pieces of personality as well. Just tried to make them as much on the path of metamorphosis as I could possibly bring to light and to character without going so over the top that I was doing FX makeup.
All right, sounds like everyone else hears you guys normally, but I'm just going to let you know on my end, everyone's sounding like robots. So if I look at you weird and I'm doing all that, that's because you all suddenly turned into robots. But they can hear you, so who cares, right? There you go.
All right.
All right, and then let's go up to you, Darcy. How'd you come up with your character inspiration?
So, when you first pitched me the concept, you kind of told me what your general outline was going to be for this. Right then, I kind of decided, like, I wanted to play something that would reinforce the stereotype. Because without the stereotype, then people who are playing against that type, you know, they have, you know, I'll be the straight man, you can do what you want and the weirdness, but like I'll play the stereotype to give kind of that contrast. So I knew I wanted to be either a Tzimisce or a Lasombra, and you had mentioned someone was going to be a Tzimisce, so I was like, cool, I'll play Lasombra. I kind of have a weird way of coming up with characters, in so much that the name is one of the first things I formulate. And that kind of helps me flesh out the rest of the character. So I knew I wanted to play Lasombra. Lasombra have a history of being pirates in the Mediterranean around Corsica. So I was like, okay, so I'll make him like a piratey, post-piratey character, in New Orleans. You know, he probably picked up another accent to hide the fact that he's actually Corsican. You know, and it kind of just exploded from there. And, you know, when you were helping me build the character, because I'm not super familiar with V5, and kept asking me these questions and forcing me to be like, oh, well, what kind of, yeah. So kind of like I wanted to make sure that people saw Darcy. I wanted them to have them relate to him, but at the same time still see his monstrous nature. You know, not necessarily like beast traits and all that, but the fact that like Darcy, because I kind of wanted to make this somber that had kind of this Michael Weston, if anybody's watched Burn Notice, attitude about the truth. It's like it's a very powerful weapon.
Oh.
Yeah. I think there may be some overheating issues.
No, am I still here? Can you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Jamie
Yeah.
just
See.
Yeah,
That's
Jamie
fine.
just.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, and then I'm trying to like fart with my sound at the same time.
Oh no, Jamie went on torpor. No.
All right, guys, let's give it a quick second here. All right, yeah, here's what we're going to do. Oh, we lost him here. I'm going to go to black real quick, everyone. We can see everyone now. Go ahead.
That, you know, that Darcy, you know, tries to make himself look like a good guy, like, hey, I'm a big family man. But, you know, underneath, there's still that, like, but would he betray me to get ahead? You know, does he lie to me about everything? You know, I wanted to have that juxtaposition of somebody who was acting noble and seems noble, but you always got that question in the back of your mind, like, is he just really a better monster?
Nice.
good. I don't want to start it.
I mean, yeah, I can start it. I think the thing that I was trying to portray, and I hopefully did it in the way I wanted to, was that slow transition from the naive little fledgling into true Sabat. Like, I didn't want it to be a quick turn on the dime, but I also didn't want it to be so slow that you just didn't get there by the end. So I hopefully did at least some shift per episode where it makes sense that Nova's now, you know, mouthing off to a Bali.
I think you did that.
Yeah, you
And I
absolutely.
think it was an interesting way that you did it without losing the character Nova. Like, you didn't make it like you were getting harder and more jaded along the way. Like, you were still Nova, but now you were Nova who was like, you know what, fuck
You just
everybody.
grew a spine. You just grew a
Yeah.
backbone over time. You were just like, I'm not taking this shit anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, thank you, Table of Horrors, for the raid.
Yes.
Yeah, no, indeed. We got a bunch of raids. I'm trying to figure out, like, because I'm the mod, trying to do it ahead of time. I'm always like, what is the button? I looked it up, but it's like I got to practice one time, and it's always that last minute thing that I always think to do.
All right, who's next?
You are.
You.
No.
You said it.
Well, I wanted to. Oh, geez, did we get another rating party?
Yes, thank you, Infinity
Oh,
RP.
thank you, Infinite RP.
Yeah, everybody's jumping into our interview, so welcome.
We're just
yeah.
hot people talking. It's super interesting.
Yeah, we're talking about our. So we just finished Vengeance in Vaulderie season finale, and we're all just kind of asking each other questions. If you've got a question, you can go ahead and put it in there. We'll answer anything pseudo appropriate, I guess.
Yep. For new viewers who may not know, Sabat themed V5 campaign. So if you're into Vampire the Masquerade, questions. But yes. So, Lydia,
Darcy and for the new viewers, can you say the question again? And also,
Oh yeah, it was something that you wanted to portray with your character that you hope came across to the audience.
yes. Well, like I said, to me personally, I don't think that this was something that I was able to put across. But I wanted to show more of that, like, physical, not in like what's more I don't know how to word this. I'm not very strong statistically. Like I don't like I look at my chart, my chart character chart sheet, and it's like, and I'm not strength is not my strong suit. I'm all charisma, and but I have some really cool physical like feats, like things. I have soaring leap, and I have claws, like really long claws, and I wanted to be able to just like have a badass like moment where it was like, oh, you know, she's more than just her looks, like she can use more than that. And I don't think, I think the only time that I really was able to do that was when me and you kind of played off each other at the meeting with and I think that was kind of the only other time where I was like able to, it was still charisma based, but it was tactic, you know, it was strategy, and I liked that. So I hope
I'm going to disagree with you. I think you were able to portray, because I think what you're trying to do is say you wanted to portray strength without having to use force.
Yeah.
And I think you did that. I honestly do. I mean,
Yeah.
moments that you chose to do that, I think that came across, at least to me as a player. And that meeting the Esbot with the bishop or whoever, the archbishop, I think across, you definitely portrayed a sense of strength. And, you know, like, hey, that is not the one you want to fuck with, without having to be forceful about it. You were able to portray that presence, whereas Darcy'd be like, hammer hit hard.
Hulk smash.
Maya. Just Russian rouletting it.
Fair enough. I hope I portrayed how shady Maya was, because she was immediately running off to have secret meetings, mostly like Black Hand business, but like she was totally willing to keep things from the pack up until they absolutely need to know about it, almost in the same way Darcy was. But she never actually lied. She just omitted doing anything else. Also, I really appreciated from all the other players, so I didn't have to display it, just like implying that Maya could take care of herself, that Maya could do all these like physical things, rather than me having to constantly display it. It's just like, I know you can do this. We know you can take care of yourself. She's very dangerous. It's like, yes, thank you.
I think you portrayed that well. And I what you were saying, because I can remember a few examples of us going like, Maya, take care of that problem. And, you know, you're like, oh, fine. Like,
yeah, like,
I think that came out. I do that. Mm-hmm. It was really good. I find myself wanting to know more character-wise about you and Lydia specifically. And I hope in season 2 we can, you know, dive a little bit deeper into you guys as characters.
Yeah, I had also glanced at my sheet and realized there's a bunch of stuff I did not use, and a bunch of like stats that technically count as secrets that probably should come out later at some point.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you've got the more dark secrets you have in there, you're like, oh, when am I going to fit all this in? All of this in at the same time.
Yeah. Triple Agent.
Yeah.
But my stalker never came up.
Yeah, you know, yeah, there was supposed to be a stalker. Yeah, we had a bunch of, and it's one of those things like you just never have the time.
Stranger, my stalker.
Yeah.
I gotta say, of all the characters, I think I'm the only one that no one has a hint of any kind of secret or anything's going on with at all.
No,
I disagree. I think you have all the secrets. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. No one else has any idea of all of my secrets.
Oh yes,
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Like your character, Mama. Like I know, as a sitting back and kind of watching your character, like I'm like, there's no way that character's actually that vapid. This is a front, and there's so much going on behind that front that it's frankly quite terrifying.
Yes.
Have we gotten to you, Lillian? Because we got a question here, and I want to get to that, and then I have one.
You haven't
for
gotten
everyone.
to me.
All right, let's do it.
Mine's easy. As far as that goes, I would say that I wanted Mother to be portrayed as motherly as possible, but also to be as feared, but not like just that abstract. Everybody's like, oh shit, but never actually have to do anything to prove it.
Fear spected.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's me. Go.
I think you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do. I like that. That's like a running like theme with our mothers. It's like every mother in the pack has. It's like you know not to fuck with her. But
They're
you
called mother for a reason.
right, exactly. I like yours. You're very different from my Black Angel's mother, because she was not mother at all. She's not nurturing. She's just fearsome, and and respected just because she's old as shit. But you have that nurturing quality. But we also know it's kind of like if we fuck up, like you're gonna get the
Spare the rod, spoil.
Indeed. Spare the
All
rod,
right.
child.
We've got a question, and I have a question for you guys here. What was it? I think it was, what's your, where is it here? There we go. What, a little bit off topic, what's your favorite RPG games, and what would you like to play in a stream? My favorite RPG games, oh my god, don't make me pick one. Like, that is just, I compulsively collect RPG games. I'm the guy who goes to a convention and sees something and I go, that looks neat. I literally have a game called Hellas, which is Greeks in space. I was like, that looks neat. I bought it. I've got so many just random things. That's how I stumbled across Cthulhu Tech and different things, so I can never pick that. What would I like to stream in? Oh, I mean, Star Trek's kind of fun, doing that. There you go. So let's jump over to, let's go with you, Maya, favorite RPG, and what would you like to stream in?
My favorite RPG. Well, let's go with what I want to stream because, again, you have stated technocracy, and I've offered that because I'm very good at corp. That's my real life. And
I got some technocracy ideas, that's for sure.
Yeah. And also, you stated Aberrant too, and now you're like adding onto this list of things I'm considering. I can't think of favorite RPG. Skip to somebody else. Need a moment.
You can just cheat like me. All of them. All of them.
Well, BTM in general.
Hey. Lydia, favorite RPG, and what would you like to stream?
Well, I'm gonna be different and not say Vampire as much as I love it, and it's the only one that I've streamed. But I'm gonna say D&D. I would love to be in a streamed D&D campaign because I have a lot of really amazing characters in D&D that I have either been cut short in campaigns because they just you drift off yet, whatever, who have not been played yet. And so
you need to join my game is what needs to happen.
Yes, I will give you my list. But for that part two, what would I like to play in a stream? If you know me at all, you know that I'm obsessed with Mass Effect. And I would love to play. I love Star Trek so much, but like Mass Effect, that like sci-fi sector is like where I'm all in. So yeah.
Nice. Nova, favorite RPG, and what would you like to stream?
Too many. I like a lot of people probably in the chat. I am most comfortable with playing Vampire just because it's what I've done most often, both the V5 and the V20 rule sets. But I love a lot of the World of Darkness / Chronicles of Darkness materials like Changeling and Demon and Beast and all of that. I love you, Adam. I hate Mage. I'm sorry. I hate Mage. It's so crunchy. I hate it.
Yeah.
I love you, but no. But I mean, then there's also like, the Legends of the Five Rings, and there's Aberrant and Exalted, and there's a Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG on Kickstarter right now, which I am one. Yes, it is on Kickstarter right now. Like,
I'm going to Kickstarter after this.
Go to Kickstarter because I want that funded.
Link in the chat.
Somewhere, someone will link it. And then there are also just like these one-off rule sets, like the kids on bikes and kids on brooms, and they're coming out with kids on capes as well. So there's just so many that I want to play with and get my hands on. And in terms of streaming, but Changeling, because I love my Darkling Graveright and I want to play her. She's a black and white movie. Love that. And maybe kids on brooms.
Maybe. I
Maybe.
don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know anything about that. Moving on.
Neither do I.
Lillian, favorite game, and what would you like to stream?
Oh, geez. I have so many RPGs that I absolutely love and hold near and dear to my heart as far as video games go. My favorites are probably Lunar 1 and 2 and Suikoden, going super old school there. And then I loved the Myst games. I loved so many different freaking games. But if I was going to pick a game to stream, I would probably want to do Demon, Aberrant, or Scion.
Those do lend very well to streaming. And last but not least, Darcy, favorite game, and what would you like to stream?
Like so many other nerds here in the group, and I'm sure watching, it's really hard to pick one. But if I were to pick a few, like Deadlands, fucking one of my favorite
Nice.
of all, Call of Cthulhu.
I got a cowboy hat around here somewhere. I could do a Western one.
Wrong cowboy. And I love D&D. It was my first game back when they were Stacko. I'm that old.
I remember.
My
Barely,
my
but I
first
remember.
character sheet.
I love Changeling the Dreaming a lot, and I never was able to get into a lot of the New World games because when I finally kind of came around to wanting to play them, most of them had phased out. Not many people were, but I love the concept behind Changeling Lost. I'd love to play that, stream that even, but I'd also love to stream the Dreaming. And of course, one of my favorite of all times is Demon the Fallen, Old White Wolf. That game, I love playing around with those religious themes and dogma and turning them on their head and looking at them from a different perspective. So that's definitely one of them. And even the New World one, Demon the Descent, was actually a very interesting interpretation.
It was. I'm sure anyone who's watched my stuff, subverting angels and demons in religion is like my favorite thing to do.
What?
All the time. Yes.
No. You.
Yeah, I got to tell the story, and then you can play in my game, Adam.
Yeah. So, we're running a little lower on time. I don't want to keep you guys here all night, but I have a question for all you guys. If there was one thing that I didn't answer, or you wanted me to go into, and you could ask me one question, which I don't promise to answer, about this game, what I'm building. If you could ask me one thing, what would it be? Audience, I'll let you go ahead. About Vengeance in Vaulderie, all the stuff I put together, how did I put it together? This story part, if you could ask me one thing, which I reserve my right not to answer, what would you ask? Does anyone have anything? I got a question. Who's interested in ST VTM out of the cast? I will let you guys. We'll answer that after this. How about that? We'll see who's doing all that. So if you could ask me one thing, either about my preparation, yada yada yada, but about Vengeance in Vaulderie or the lore, what would you ask? And just raise your hand if you got it, because I just put you guys in the spot. If nobody's got anything, then all right, there we go. Ember's got a question.
So, how did you choose the identity of the stranger?
So the stranger in and of itself is a lot of what's going to be done here is just riffs off of previous games that I've done growing up. I was 14 once and just ran a bunch of games in my basement with all my friends who would come over every weekend. And the stranger is that's not its original name, but over the years it has evolved into something else. So the identity of the stranger has only been since V5 came out is really when I came up with who the stranger is, what they want, and things like that. So if we're talking about it in regards to where I implied that he was one of the original 3 Bali, that was new. I came up with that because in the past there's a difference between what I've told my players and what's true up here, and everything's true up here until I decide to change it. So, the stranger is just really it's the bad guy that really doesn't believe he's the bad guy. But
Yeah.
as my favorite thing, and which I say in a lot of my stories, whenever he shows up, you just have to remember I'm not the bad guy. And if we do this long enough, I stream long enough, you will see more of the stranger and hopefully learn a little bit more about him. So how did I decide on it? I just keep making it up as I go. I saw Darcy had a question.
Yep.
So it's common knowledge that you improv pretty damn well when we throw curveballs at you. But I want to know, what was your biggest surprise that somebody here in the cast, and maybe an individual, maybe us as a group, what was like the biggest, oh, wow, I was not expecting that kind of surprise when we took the story in another direction?
Oh, that's tough for me to remember because like I feel like there's one every episode or nearly every episode, with the exception of the first one, because the first one was the establishing the story, and that was the one that I think all of us had the most structure to, of like, okay, we got to do this, this, and this because we have to get Nova to the Sabbat, and we had the NPCs. I'm trying to think. You guys had a couple. Really, anytime you interact with the stranger. Because the hardest part about being the stranger is the stranger's supposed to be 10,000 years old and manipulating everything. But I cannot possibly manipulate everything you guys are going to do without making it feel too railroaded. So my personal idea is for anytime I play super old elders, any of your decisions, which you made in the moment, that was totally part of his plan the whole time. Because he's that smart. But I'm not. So that's a lot of like my thing is, right, I have to make the stranger look cool, give you agency, and do that. And that's the hardest part. Because, like, at Nova, just mouthing off to the 4th gen Bali. It's like, in reality, what would I do? Well, there's a million powers. I have the Stranger's sheet from 3rd edition somewhere. Of all the powers I could have tons of fun, but that just removes all of Nova's agency. And I don't want to do that. So I would like, and also, too, as you learn more about the stranger, he's about your agency. Like, you making that decision if he kind of thought you were going to do it. So that's the hardest part. And I would say that's the part I have to improv the most, is try to look cool in the hat and act like I knew exactly what you were going to do all along. That's the hard part. Because anything else you do, like, where you guys are like, oh, we're going to wander in the abyss more. Fuck. But I can always, like, wherever you end up is up to my decision. Like, oh, okay, you decided to walk out in the werewolves. That I made that up. So I have some sort of control over that, but the hardest part is trying to give you agency, make you look good, but also make my NPC look badass at the same time without just, throwing dice at you. So I would say
was in that moment like your favorite because it just caught you off guard.
Yeah, anytime you guys catch me off guard, sometimes though it works out better, and that's my favorite decision that you guys make is when you're like, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, oh, that was so much better than I had planned. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna act like I knew what, but I also like letting you guys know because I feel like, oh man, you just threw it out there, and it's that can be the most fun. Any other questions for me in regards to Vengeance and Vaulderie, planning it, executing, other than Streamlabs just hating me sometimes? No? All right. No questions? Cool. We get a question here. Did I have a clan list? Are you asking me, Shadow Fused? I'm seeing if there was another thing here. Where's your last comment?
Yeah, it's in regards to what clans would be accepted for this game or not.
Oh, no, yeah, so, I kind of let everybody have that as long as I knew what it was. And it's really hard to pull a clan or bloodline I've never heard of. So, I guess Nova is the only one that was really limited because it kind of had to be the quintessential conversion. So I didn't want Nova to be anything weird. Everyone else, as in Lydia, was initially going to be kind of the hot goth girl kind of thing, like leading, like, oh yes, I am so cool in the Sabbat, you cannot dare approach me. And I was like, oh, but you like the kata. And then I was like, okay, we could do that because they get necromancy. The ministry does. I was like, so what's important to you? Owning the room or having the cool magical powers? So yeah, there was a lot of, and As long as nobody picked something that was just so esoteric that wouldn't make sense in the Sabbat. So I didn't want anyone to be like, I want to be a Nagaraja, or I want to be a child of the Osiris, or the Salubri, healer wouldn't make sense. So there was a few things that I would just be like, does
in this timeline,
work?
the children of Osiris are all like humans again.
Yeah, so it's all,
Well, I remember you really, when you were explaining the concept to me, you're like, we're going to use like a lot of V5 mechanics, or we're going to use a lot of the, old school lore from like 3rd edition. And I remember you gave me, you're like, what do you want to play, man? You can play anything you want. And, of course, when you give me that much agency, I'm like, oh, but then I was, I chose. But I do remember you didn't have a clan list specifically. You were pretty open to any character concept or clan. You just kind of like, hey, pitch me an idea and we'll see if it works.
You guys
Don't
had
be
to
a
be
Tremere in the Sabbat.
you had to be the established pack. So whatever you were, you had to kind of everyone had to kind of show a part of the Sabbat. That was kind of the thing I really wanted to do. Like, I didn't want everyone to be the Tremere in the Sabbat. Like, they did exist to a certain extent, but they're not really well liked. So cabal of Tremere anti-tribu, and then Nova like, hi, that's not going to tell that story. Yeah. But I think what works with my group is that you guys knew that we knew the story we wanted to tell. So you know the story. How can you help tell that story? And then it branches off. How you help tell that story helps me tell a story you want to, and things like that. Rumbrave asked me. Oh, sorry.
Before you get into Sean's question, we have from Venture1399. We kind of skipped over that.
Oh yeah.
Who is interested in STing VTM out of the cast?
Are we talking about just STing or streaming? Is that two separate things? Both? Who wants to do both?
STing.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, have that.
I've done it for years.
I've done it many times. I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm better off as a player for VTM, but I might ST something soon. Cough, 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 cough. Who knows? That's not obvious at all.
Maybe.
Who knows?
That is.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if I'd want to be a storyteller for BPM, but I definitely want to be a storyteller. A storyteller, game master, dungeon master. The run.
That being said, it is kind of late. Sorry, everyone.
Come back to go off.
Yeah, well, it was. I literally hit that, and then that's right when Ty was like, "Hey, it's getting kind of late." That being said, it is late. Sorry, we're live. Sorry to let everyone go. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here real fast. Yeah. Thank you for sticking with us. Someone asked me, "What are we doing next?" We're doing a lot of stuff. If you've not caught on to the hints, the Peacock Vampire over here, Nova, is going to be doing something. I have a limited run Alien series coming up. Going to do Alien Chariot of the Gods. Will be very short, just tons of fun while I develop what I'm doing next. What am I doing after that? I don't know. Thanks for sticking around for our crashing. I'm glad Streamlabs decided to crash at the very end while we're just kind of farting around. Yeah. So that being said, people got to work tomorrow. Thank you for sticking around with us this far. I just kind of didn't want to leave it on that. So that being said, now let me pull up Streamlabs to the right. We're leaving kind of thing. I'm just going to fade us to black here, everyone.